Did you know that in a certain part of the world, asking for salt for your food is considered to be rude? Or that slurping your noodles as loudly as you can is the right way to eat? Or that arriving for a dinner invitation at the specified time will make your host greet you like this? Wow! I can't believe that there are people out there who actually follow such practices. Wait, stop. Let's rewind for a second. Let's analyze what prejudiced me just said. I had stated an opinion, and a strong one too, on some people who I don't know anything about. I don't know who they are or where they're from. Everything that I know is based on something that I read, written by someone living somewhere. And yet, I was quick to judge. Why? Because they don't live the way I do, or do the things the way I like to. Prejudice is rampant in today's societies, so much that it's part of our conversation now. It weaves its way into our ideologies. Now, what I mean by ideologies here is that it's a framework that's built upon everything that we have experienced and learned. This ideology would obviously be unique to everyone. But what's most important is that we unknowingly make use of this ideology as a measuring stick to measure other people and things around us, to see if they come up to our standards. Misinformation, unfortunately, Misinformation also shapes our ideology. And so, if you think about it, you can never be prejudiced. Well, that's enough philosophy. Let's now move on to something that I think is even more pertinent to the subject at hand. A chili. Well, for now, I want you all to consider this chili to be a random person who happened to be the subject of conversation of two people. Let's say Bob and Dill. Bob is prejudiced, while Dill is not. Now before that, audience, what is the stereotype that we most commonly associate with chilies? Exactly. Chilies are spicy. Now, let's take a look at the conversation, which goes a little something like this. I absolutely hate prejudice. I absolutely hate chilies. They are horrible. But why? It fills my mouth with fire. It's so spicy hot. But not all chilies are spicy hot. I don't care. I just hate all chilies. Admittedly, this is a silly analogy, but it demonstrates the disposition of our minds to do something which I believe to be at the heart of prejudices. I believe to be at the heart of prejudices, generalizing on the basis of limited knowledge. We humans love to simplify things. I mean, throughout history, we have been inventing just so that our lives become simpler. And over time, we have inadvertently trained our minds also to do the same. We simplify by processing information through a filter of sorts that's made out of our personal experiences and preferences. This is what leads to cognitive biases. Cognitive biases are errors that come as a result of our impartial judgment. Take this study, for example. Researchers asked couples what percentage of the household work they had done, as well as things like what percentage of the fights they had started and how much of the mess was theirs. And when they added up those percentages, the sum was on average over 100%. Now, how many of you all think you contribute most to a group project? Audience? Well, all right. You see, this is not because we try to appear to be more helpful than we actually are. This is because of something called egocentric bias. We are aware of everything that happens in our lives, but not of everything that happens in everyone else's lives. Egocentric bias is the most prominent of cognitive biases. And so we naturally tend to overestimate our contributions while underestimating those of others for a particular event. Thus, we can see how our biases are closely linked and inseparable from the perspective with which we view the world. This perspective is also deeply rooted in our ideology, as I mentioned earlier. And so, if you think about it, everyone has a biased perspective. But it's important that we learn to differentiate between these. Not everyone is prejudiced. You may be biased, but you're not prejudiced. It's important that we learn to distinguish between these two, because ultimately, we are in control of our actions. We are responsible for our actions. Let us strive to make a society where everyone is seen for exactly who they are. We can do this by following 3 simple things. 1, don't forget the good side of people. Why is it that we always fixate on that one negative thing of people when we judge them? Why do we often forget all the good things that they've ever done, all of the good memories that we've ever shared with them? Why can't we instead forget and forgive? It's as simple as that. 2, the people that you stood with in the queue today, the strangers that you walked past this morning, and perhaps even some of the people that you're sitting with right now, all have their own complicated lives filled with people, problems, adventures, betrayals, whatnot. There is always a lot more to people than they let appear. And lastly, the simple things in life are often the most impactful. Hence, exactly why we tend to forget them. We are so focused on the little things that we often fail to see the bigger, sweeter picture. And so, next time you're about to criticize someone, stop yourself and ask this simple question to yourself. What fault of mine most closely resembles the one that I'm about to criticize? And maybe, just maybe, we can create a better reality for everyone. Thank you.